Humans are afraid of invisible species, said the Galactic Council until the camera fades in, showing a vast, dimly lit room, filled with sleek, alien technology and holographic displays. The Galactic Council, an assembly of representatives from various powerful alien species, sits around a large, circular table. Their faces are stern, their eyes sharp, as they discuss a matter that has been plaguing their thoughts for days. The lead representative, a tall, reptilian figure with shimmering scales, speaks first. His voice, calm yet commanding, echoes through the room. Reports from across the galaxy are clear. The humans are frightened. They've heard of the invisible species, and now they are terrified. Yet, we have seen no evidence of its existence. Another council member, a short, insectoid being, nods in agreement. The humans believe they are under threat from an invisible force, something they cannot see or fight. But is this not just another manifestation of their fear? The camera shifts to show the council members' faces, each a different species, but all sharing the same skepticism. A third member, a humanoid with glowing eyes, adds, "Fear. It's what keeps them from advancing, from seeing the truth. We must show them that their terror is nothing more than a shadow. We'll send our best warriors to Earth. Once they realize how insignificant this threat is, they'll fall in line." The council leader's eyes narrow. This invisible species, we must be careful. It's said to be unpredictable. We cannot underestimate it. But as always, humans will find a way to disappoint. Prepare the fleet. It's time to show them who controls the galaxy. The holographic displays flicker, showing Earth's location in the vast expanse of space. The camera zooms out, the council's decision now set in motion, as they prepare for their next move. The scene opens with a panoramic view of Earth from space. The planet looks peaceful from afar, but beneath the surface, humanity is preparing for something far from peaceful. Inside a high-tech military base, deep underground, human defense forces are on high alert. Dale Ross, an experienced mechanic in his mid-40s with rough hands and a no-nonsense attitude, walks through the corridors of the facility. He's a man who's seen it all: wars, natural disasters, and now this, the threat of an invisible enemy. The camera focuses on his serious face as he walks past soldiers, engineers, and military officers, all of them busy preparing for the unknown. The air is tense, but Ross isn't one to panic. His job is simple: keep things running. The base has been working overtime, trying to find ways to detect the invisible species, but so far, nothing has worked. The human defense system is good: advanced radar, infrared, and satellite technology. But against an enemy that can't be seen, it's all useless. Ross enters the command center, where a group of officers and scientists are gathered around a large screen. On the screen are various images of Earth's defense technologies: drones, energy shields, satellite networks. But there's one problem. They're all designed to protect against visible threats. "Nothing yet?" Ross asks, his voice gruff but steady. One of the scientists, a young woman with glasses, shakes her head. "We've tried everything, Mr. Ross. The species isn't showing up on any of our systems. It's like it's not even there." Ross looks at the screen, then back at the group. "So we're blind." The officer in charge, a tall man in his 50s, stands up and looks at Ross. "We need your help, Ross. You've worked on the old tech, the stuff we've never had to use. Maybe you can find a way to make it work." Ross gives a small nod. "If anyone can find a way, it's me." The camera shifts as Ross moves to a workbench in the corner of the room, filled with tools and parts of old mechanical equipment. He starts to tinker with a radar unit, his hands moving with precision. He's thinking, solving problems in real time. He knows this might be the key to the defense humanity needs: a way to track something that isn't visible. A loud alarm suddenly blares throughout the facility. The screen in the command center flickers, showing a red warning sign: "Incoming threat detected." "Here we go," Ross mutters to himself as he finishes tweaking the radar. He connects the final wire, and the machine hums to life. The officers and scientists look at the screen in disbelief. The radar flickers, showing someone out there in space. It's faint, but it's there. Ross stands back, his face a mix of relief and determination. We've got something. It's not much, but it's a start. The screen zooms in on the faint signal, showing a vague, moving shape in the distance. The camera then shifts to a close-up of Ross's face. He knows this is just the beginning of a much larger fight. Humanity may not be ready, but they will be. The camera opens in the heart of a vast, sterile room. Massive screens cover the walls, showing the collective power of the Galactic Council, an assembly of alien species from across the galaxy. Their various forms and sizes fill the space, but the focus is on the Council leader, a tall, intimidating alien with sharp features and an air of authority. His voice is deep, resonant, and carries a sense of gravity. Humanity is weak, he declares, his gaze sweeping across the room. The rest of the Council listens intently. They are fragile, emotional, and reckless. Yet, they seem to be causing trouble. Another Council member, a creature with multiple eyes and tentacles, leans forward, its voice dripping with disdain. They claim to have detected an invisible species. Yet, we have studied them. Humans have no means to detect or fight such creatures. It is an illusion, nothing more. The camera shifts to a nearby alien species with metallic skin, who speaks with quiet confidence. I propose we send our greatest warriors. If they are indeed being attacked, they will not stand a chance against us. The Council leader considers this for a moment, then nods slowly. Very well. Send the warriors. Let us see how strong these humans truly are. The screen fades to black for a moment, and then we see the Galactic Council's elite warriors preparing for their mission. The warriors are an imposing sight, each one heavily armored and armed with advanced weaponry. Their ship, sleek and silent, is ready to depart for Earth. As the warriors board their ship, a sense of superiority fills the air. They are confident, believing that no matter the challenge, they will overwhelm humanity effortlessly. One of the warriors, a tall being with glowing red eyes, looks over to his companion and speaks in a calm, almost bored tone. Why bother with this mission, he asks. It's a human problem. Nothing more. His companion, a hulking alien with massive arms, grunts in agreement. We'll crush them, no question. Their leader, a cold and calculating figure, gives them a stern look. Don't underestimate them. The Galactic Council has sent us for a reason. They believe humanity might be more dangerous than we think. But why? The red-eyed warrior protests. They are mere insects compared to us. The leader remains silent for a moment, the tension growing as they board the ship. The warriors settle into their seats, preparing for the journey. The ship's engines hum to life as it begins its voyage to Earth. Back in the Council chamber, the screens flicker to life again, showing the warriors' ship launching from their home planet. The Council leader watches, his eyes narrowing slightly. I trust you will succeed, he says quietly, his voice laced with anticipation. On board the ship, the elite warriors engage in silent preparation. Their mission is clear: eradicate the invisible species and return with proof that humans are as weak as they appear. They will not fail. They cannot fail. As the ship zooms through space, passing galaxies and nebulae, the warriors remain steadfast, unaware of the true strength of their adversaries. The camera focuses on their leader, who gazes out at the endless stars, contemplating the unknowns ahead. We shall see, he mutters under his breath. We shall see just how strong they are. The screen fades to black as the ship approaches Earth, the tension mounting. The fate of the galaxy could hinge on what happens next. The scene begins in a dense forest on Earth, somewhere in a remote part of North America. The air is thick with fog, and the trees stretch high above, their branches entwined. There's a sense of eerie quiet, as if nature itself is holding its breath. Suddenly, there's a movement, something unseen, darting between the trees. A ripple in the air, followed by the faintest sound, like a whisper on the wind. The camera cuts to Dale Ross, our mechanic hero, standing at the edge of the forest, holding a rifle. He's clad in simple but sturdy gear, a practical outfit for someone who's used to working with his hands, not for a fight. His face is tense, focused, his eyes scanning the foggy landscape. "We know you're out there," Dale mutters under his breath. His voice is low, but it's full of determination. "I don't care what you are, I'll find you." He tightens his grip on the rifle, his fingers adjusting to the weight. Every so often, his eyes flicker toward the trees, but there's nothing, just the stillness of the forest. Then, a sudden rustling from behind him, a sharp crack from a branch snapping underfoot. He spins, raising his rifle, but there's nothing there. It's been weeks since humanity first encountered the invisible species. Weeks of uncertainty, fear, and frustration. The invaders had come without warning, without any sign of their presence. The first few days had been chaos. People died without understanding what had happened to them. Entire cities had fallen silent as the invisible enemies picked off their targets one by one, without a single trace. Dale wasn't one of the victims. He wasn't some ordinary civilian. No, he was different. He'd spent his life working in a mechanic shop, building machines, fixing engines, and solving problems. He had never faced an enemy like this, but he was resourceful, and resourcefulness is what had kept him alive. Now, standing in the midst of the forest, he knew that he had to do more than survive. He had to find a way to stop this invisible menace, this species that could move without a sound, attack without warning, and disappear without a trace. No one else had come up with a solution, so it was up to him to figure it out. The Galactic Warriors had arrived on Earth, but they were as clueless as the rest of the human forces. They had weapons, technology, and superior strength, but none of it seemed to matter. The invisible species was too elusive, too unpredictable. Suddenly, Dale hears a distant, muffled scream. It's not the usual kind of scream. This one is different. It's quick, frantic, and then silence. His heart races. He doesn't need to think twice. He moves toward the source of the sound, his steps quick and purposeful. As he enters a clearing, he sees one of the Galactic Warriors, an alien covered in thick, silvery armor, lying on the ground. The armor is punctured, the pieces scattered around him. His face is twisted in pain, but there's something more in his eyes, a sense of disbelief, a look of someone who has just realized they are not invincible. The warrior looks up as Dale approaches, the words barely escaping his lips. It's real. There, everywhere. Dale kneels beside him, scanning the area with practiced precision. His eyes flick back and forth, searching for any signs of the invisible enemy. "What happened?" he asks, his voice steady despite the chaos surrounding them. "I couldn't see them," the warrior gasps. "They came out of nowhere. There's no way to fight something you can't see." Dale clenches his jaw. He had known this was coming. The warriors were too confident, too sure of themselves. They hadn't considered what could happen when they faced an enemy unlike anything they had ever encountered. Looking down at the warriors' wounds, Dale knows the situation is dire. The technology these aliens had was state-of-the-art, but it was useless against an enemy that didn't leave a trace. They needed a new strategy, and fast. Then it clicks. Dale remembers something. Back when he was just a kid, he'd read about a particular kind of predator, an animal that was nearly invisible, able to blend in with its surroundings. The way to deal with it, the article had said, was to use a technique known as disruptive camouflage. The principle was simple. If you could break up the natural patterns around you, you could expose the predator's position. Dale stands up, looking around. He needs to make the forest work for him, to use it to his advantage. He quickly begins to gather materials, branches, leaves, and debris from the surrounding trees. In mere moments, he's fashioning a series of makeshift tools. One of the warriors watches him in confusion. too injured to intervene. "What are you doing?" the warrior demands, but Dale ignores him, focused on the task at hand. "I'm not just going to sit here and wait to get killed," Dale mutters. "I'm going to find a way to make them visible." Dale's hands move swiftly, assembling the pieces together in a pattern that might not look like much to the untrained eye, but it's exactly what he needs. The camouflage traps he's setting are designed to create false heat signatures, disrupting the natural environment and confusing the invisible attackers. It's a primitive idea, but it just might work. The alien warrior looks at him, still weak, his eyes filled with awe. "You can't stop them." "No one can." Dale's lips curl into a grim smile. "Watch me." As he finishes setting the traps, he steps back, holding his breath. The tension in the air is palpable. For a moment, everything is still. Then, without warning, a figure, only partially visible, emerges from the trees, its shape flickering in and out of view. The invisible creature has been detected. Dale's heart races as he takes aim, ready to fight back, but he knows the true battle is just beginning. It's not just about killing these creatures. It's about survival and outsmarting an enemy that can't be seen. The invisible war has begun. The camera zooms in on the face of Dale Ross. His eyes are focused, narrowed with intensity, as he watches the area carefully. The traps are set. The air is heavy with anticipation. Every nerve in his body is alert, every sense heightened. For the first time in weeks, Dale feels like he has a fighting chance against this invisible menace. He grips his rifle tightly. His breath comes in shallow bursts, not from fear, but from the weight of responsibility. If these traps work, it could change everything, not just for him, but for the entire human race. The first few moments are excruciatingly quiet. Dale stands motionless, scanning the forest with his sharp eyes, every crack of a twig, every rustle of leaves amplifying in the silence. Then, without warning, there's a sudden, faint ripple in the air, just a distortion of the environment, and something or someone moves through the trees. The traps begin to trigger one by one. The first is a visual distortion, a brief shimmer in the air, the outline of an invisible creature flickering in and out of sight. It's a trick of the environment, a heat signature broken by the disruption in the natural surroundings. Dale doesn't hesitate. He's already locked onto the target, his rifle aimed with precision. Bang! The shot rings out, a sharp crack in the quiet forest. The distortion in the air stutters, faltering for a split second before it vanishes. The creature is still invisible, but it's no longer moving at the same speed. The trap worked. For the first time since the invisible war began, humanity has a small victory. Dale quickly checks his rifle, eyes still darting between the trees. He doesn't relax. He can't. There's no time for celebration yet. But this is a turning point, a spark of hope in the midst of chaos. A low growl cuts through the silence. Another invisible creature, this one larger, more menacing, steps into the trap zone. Dale moves quickly, repositioning himself, eyes locked onto the location where he senses the creature's presence. He doesn't need to see it to know it's there. His mind races. The heat signatures from the traps have disrupted the natural camouflage of the creatures, but it's not enough to stop them completely. He needs something more, something that will force the creatures to reveal themselves fully. Then it hits him. Sound. These creatures may be invisible, but they still have to react to the environment. They can't remain completely silent. They have to give themselves away somehow. Dale reaches into his pack and pulls out a device, a simple contraption made from spare parts he scavenged. A rudimentary but effective sound emitter. He activates it, and a series of high-pitched noises begin to echo through the forest. It's not loud enough to hurt, but it's enough to create confusion in the creature's patterns. The moment the sound reaches the creatures, the disturbance is instant. The first one stumbles forward, its figure flickering visibly, then it disappears again. The second one, a larger creature, now becomes more erratic, its movements uncoordinated as it tries to adapt to the sound interference. Dale doesn't hesitate. He moves in quickly, using the sound to disorient the creature, guiding it into one of his traps. It's a simple tactic but effective. The creature tries to move away, but the environment is working against it. The traps, the sound interference, and Dale's precise movements are slowly forcing the invisible menace to reveal itself. The creature falters for a split second, just enough time for Dale to take a shot. Bang! This time, the creature is not just disrupted. It's down. The shimmer in the air fades, and it falls to the ground with a thud. Dale takes a moment to catch his breath. It's a small victory, but it's a victory nonetheless. From the shadows, the Galactic Warriors watch. They've been observing Dale's movements, still skeptical, still unsure of his methods. But even they can see it now. Dale Ross, the mechanic, has done something they couldn't. He's exposed the invisible enemy. One of the warriors steps forward, his armor reflecting the dim light of the forest. His voice is heavy with both awe and disbelief. You actually did it. Dale doesn't look at him. He's already moving, preparing for the next attack. I didn't do it alone, he mutters, glancing at the fallen creature. This was just the first step. But the warrior's words hang in the air. They've seen the effectiveness of Dale's traps, his ingenuity, his resourcefulness. For the first time since they arrived on Earth, they realized something they hadn't before. Maybe, just maybe, human ingenuity could win this war. Dale doesn't have time to explain. Another creature, even larger than the last, begins to take shape in the trees. Dale quickly activates the sound emitter again, a low hum filling the air. The creature reacts, its form flickering as the high-pitched sound interferes with its natural camouflage. But this time it's different. It's stronger, faster. Dale braces himself. He's prepared, but he knows this won't be easy. The creature charges, moving at an incredible speed. It's trying to break through the traps, trying to find a way to bypass the interference. But Dale is ready. As the creature nears, he fires another shot, the bullet hitting its mark with precision. The creature stumbles, but doesn't fall. Dale moves quickly, closing the distance between them. His heart races, his mind calculating the next move. The creature swipes at him with its claws, narrowly missing. But Dale is faster. He ducks and rolls, coming up behind the creature and planting another shot right between its eyes. The creature collapses to the ground, its shimmering form fading as it vanishes. Dale exhales sharply, wiping the sweat from his brow. This fight isn't over, but with each victory, he's gaining ground. Human ingenuity, combined with his relentless determination, is slowly but surely turning the tide. Dale looks back at the Galactic Warriors, who now approach him with newfound respect. They've witnessed it firsthand. Earth's last hope isn't just in advanced technology or superior firepower. It's in the heart and mind of a single human, a mechanic who refused to give up. We can win this, Dale says quietly, his voice filled with conviction. We will. The Galactic Council convenes in their vast, dark chamber. It's an imposing structure, built from materials that seem to shimmer like stardust, stretching across the galaxy. The council members, beings from 100 different worlds, sit in a circle around a floating table, their faces bathed in the pale glow of holographic displays. A tense atmosphere fills the room. On one side, the human ambassadors stand quietly, their eyes fixed on the council. They've watched as the council deliberated in silence for hours. Now it's time for the final word. The head of the council, an ancient being known only as Orvith, speaks. His voice is deep, resonating with the power of 1,000 years. We were wrong, he declares, his tone carrying the weight of an entire empire's arrogance. The humans have proven themselves to be more than we expected. He pauses, letting the words sink in. Around the table, the other members exchange glances. There's a subtle shift in their demeanor, a realization settling in. They're not just a primitive species. Another council member, a creature from the planet Alther, chimes in. His voice is sharp, filled with disbelief. They have adapted. They've learned how to fight against the invisible invaders. With nothing more than basic tools and sheer will, they've taken down several of our forces. One of the more youthful members, a being named Karox, speaks up, almost with a note of frustration. How did we miss this? How did we underestimate them for so long? Orvith's gaze is heavy as he looks across the room. It was hubris. We thought we were invincible, that we were superior. We were wrong. There's a long pause. The other members sit silently, their thoughts weighed down by the gravity of the situation. This was no longer about a simple conquest of a weak species. This was something different, something they hadn't prepared for. Another voice breaks the silence. This time, it's an elder from a distant star system. We've watched as the humans, led by one of their own, have slowly but surely begun to unravel the mystery of our technology. They're adapting our own weapons against us. Even now they're building new strategies. Their resourcefulness knows no bounds. Their adaptability is unsettling, Orvith mutters, his expression darkening. We underestimated their will to survive. And now, we may have sealed our fate. Karox slams a fist onto the table, the sound echoing in the chamber. What now? Do we retreat? Do we destroy them before they can become a true threat? We still have the power to wipe them out in an instant. Orvith doesn't flinch. No, we cannot destroy what we cannot understand. The humans have proven that they are more than just a threat. They are a challenge, one that requires more than brute force to overcome. We need to reconsider our approach. We cannot treat them like we did the other worlds. The atmosphere in the chamber shifts again. The weight of Orvith's words lingers. The council had been so sure of their superiority, so confident in their ability to subjugate Earth. But now, the reality was clear. Earth wasn't just another world to conquer. It was a force to be reckoned with. And the humans had shown them just how powerful that force could be. Perhaps we need to learn from them. Another council member, a being from the water planet Rysel, offers quietly. Not just fight them, but understand them. We've been looking at this as a war of strength. But it's not. It's a war of will. A war of ingenuity. And that is something we can't just destroy. Orvith nods slowly. Perhaps we need to change our strategy. We need to learn what makes them so resilient, what drives them to keep going. It's not their technology, nor their numbers. It's their spirit. The chamber goes silent once more as the council contemplates this new direction. The realization is dawning upon them. The humans may not have the technology or the military might of the Galactic Empires, but they have something far more dangerous, a relentless drive to survive, adapt, and overcome. It's a quality that no amount of power can crush. And as the council members sit in their vast chamber, the truth is clear. The humans have become more than just a species to be conquered. They have become a force that the galaxy must reckon with. The camera pans over Earth, a beautiful blue planet suspended in the vast emptiness of space. The familiar continents are visible, though slightly altered by time. Humanity has changed, evolved, and now, after their victory against the invisible species, they stand as a symbol of resilience and determination in the galaxy. The Galactic Council is silent. They are watching from their distant chamber, reflecting on what they have just witnessed. Their records, their sensors, and their projections had all pointed to a different outcome. They had expected humanity to crumble, to be swept away by forces far beyond their control. But instead, humanity had stood firm, fought, and ultimately triumphed. It wasn't just about winning the war anymore. It was about what this victory represented. The humans had become more than just survivors. They had become a living testament to the power of human spirit. Orvith, the head of the council, speaks softly, his voice filled with a newfound respect. We underestimated them. We thought that their survival instincts alone were enough to define them. But it was their creativity, their resourcefulness, that truly set them apart. He pauses, looking at the holographic display of Earth. They have shown the galaxy that the greatest weapon of all is not the might of armies or the strength of technology, but the power of will, the drive to never give up, no matter how impossible the odds. Another council member, a tall, sharp-eyed being from a far-off star system, speaks in agreement. They have forced us to reconsider everything we thought we knew about strength. We are no longer the superior beings in this universe. Humanity has proven that there is more to power than the ability to destroy. The camera shifts back to Earth, showing scenes of human cities thriving, rebuilding after the battle. People from all walks of life are working together, their faces full of purpose. The camera zooms in on a small group of children gathered around an old mechanic, Dale Ross, the very man who had helped lead humanity's defense. He is teaching them how to repair a piece of alien technology, passing down the knowledge that had once been used to fight the invaders. In the background, we see ships, human ships, gathering in orbit, preparing to travel beyond their own world. The message is clear: humanity is not done. They are reaching for the stars, not out of desperation, but out of ambition. They now understand the true potential of their race. On the ground, in the heart of a rebuilt city, an elder stands in front of a monument. It's a simple structure, but its meaning is immense, a tribute to the unknown warriors who fought, who sacrificed, and who ultimately brought humanity to this new chapter. The elder addresses a crowd gathered around the monument, his voice strong and filled with conviction. We may be a young species in the vastness of the universe, but today we stand as equals to the oldest and most powerful civilizations. Today, we are not just survivors. We are the future. The crowd cheers, their voices echoing through the streets. The monument is a symbol, not just of victory, but of the enduring legacy of humanity's strength, its ingenuity, its courage, and its refusal to back down in the face of impossible odds. The camera pulls back, showing the planet from space once more. The Earth shines brightly in the vastness of space, no longer a target for destruction, but a beacon of hope. Humanity's legacy is written across the stars, and the galaxy will never forget the power of the human spirit. As humanity sets its sights on the stars, we are reminded that no force in the universe can match the power of the human spirit. From the depths of adversity, we rise together. The battle is over, but the future is ours to shape. Are you ready to witness humanity's next great adventure? Stay tuned, because this story is far from over. The universe will never be the same again. Thank you for watching till the end. If you enjoyed the story, please give this video a like and subscribe for more.